Hey, Michelle. All right, everybody. This is Calvin Butler with the RBBS Logistics Learning Centers. Let me go ahead and share my sound because today I'm just going to be showing a couple of videos. Because last week on the Brokerage Hour, we did EFS checks and ComData, but I realized there's a video that I showed you all and the sound didn't come through. So today I'm going to play that one, and I'm going to play one on ComData and one on EFS. And then afterwards, I'm going to have a little bit of stuff to say, about why you should be set up the right way as a broker, and how that's how negotiating with the shippers is going to affect your ability to pay for stuff with EFS and ComData. But I'm gonna go ahead and play the video first, and then I'm going to start my recording so I can record this. And I gotta also get it set up so you all can hear what's going on. Y'all give me a second here. Share my screen. Let me do my sound. Share sound. Put it in stereo. All right. I think I'm set up the right way now. All right. And we're going to be playing these two from EFS and ComData. So it's going to play both of them. And then I'll be back with you all as soon as I get done with that. Let me go ahead and start recording. Where is my record button? Oh, there we go, record. All right. All right. Good morning, everybody. This is Calvin Butler with the RBBS Logistics Learning Centers and the National Dispatchers Network. And today we're going to be reviewing ComData and EFS checks. I know last week we went over ComData, not so much the EFS, but we went over ComData checks last weekend, and I played a ComData video with you all on how to set up your ComData and the importance of it. But the sound didn't come through. So here I am back again, and I'm going to go ahead and replay that video. I'm also going to play an EFS video that tells you how to do your EFS checks. And then after that, I'm going to come back and we're going to have a discussion on why it's important why your negotiations with shippers are important to you being able to pay for stuff with EFS and ComData. But first, let me go ahead and get this out of the way so you all can go ahead and watch these videos. And we'll go ahead and click the play all, and it's going to play both these videos for you all. And I hope you all enjoy it.
The new best way to make money online that nobody's talking about is something you've never heard of before.
Got to skip these ads here. Sorry about that.
Hi everybody, my name is Stephanie Hampton and I'm the Driver Resource Manager at PS Logistics. Today I'm going to show you how the Efs Mobile App can save you time and money. First, download the EFS Card Control app and register your card. Call the number on the back of the card for automated instructions on registering your card and creating a login PIN. If you have not done this yet, pause this video and complete those steps. With the app installed and your login PIN set, launch and log into the EFS app. To save time, you can register your advance code via the app and complete the EFS paper check without waiting for the truck stop attendant to do this. Registering the check will activate the money code and assign money to the check. Cashing your advance will be faster and more secure. To register your EFS check, In the upper left-hand corner of the screen, you will see 3 stacked lines. These lines are the menu button. Press this button and then select Register Check. Enter the money code number issued by your driver manager, enter the amount, click Register Check, and then hit Confirm. The check is now registered. To save money on every fill-up, click the menu button and select Price Locator. If this is your first time using this feature, the app will ask you to allow location services. Once the app knows your location, it will display all of the in-network fuel stops and their pricing within a 25-mile range. The Price Locator shows the latest discounted prices for all of our fuel networks. We continuously negotiate new prices and add locations to our network. The app instantly reflects those changes. To learn to adjust your search radius and all of the additional features of the app, press the question mark on the right side of the page. It will explain all of the other buttons. For example, you can list locations by price, search between 2 cities, and more. We hope you find the EFS app easy to use and that you make it a part of your regular trip planning routine. If you have any questions or need any help, please reach out to us. Thanks for watching this video and have a safe trip.
Getting started with ComCheck Mobile for business. ComCheck Mobile is the trucking industry's easiest way to send, receive, and spend funds. This video will walk you through downloading the mobile app and activating your account, which includes ordering and using the ComData card that will be connected to your ComCheck Mobile account. Before we begin, ComCheck Mobile allows you to register for an account as an individual or as a business entity. This video will walk you through registering as a business entity. Let's begin. On your mobile device, open the Google Play or Apple App Store. Search for ComCheck Mobile, download, and install the app. Once installed, locate ComCheck Mobile on your device and open it. Then tap Sign Up. Enter a unique username, password, and an email address to establish your mobile account. Remember, you will need your username in order for senders to load money onto your card. Once you've reviewed the terms and agreements, tap the radio button and then tap Next. Your username is now registered. Tap Request your ComData card. Your new ComData card provides many features for using your funds, such as point-of-sale transactions, ATMs, direct deposit, peer-to-peer transfer, and many more. You can even add the balance of an express code to your card with just a few taps. See the Transfer Funds with ComCheck Mobile video for more information on everything you can do with your ComData card. Tap Business. Please note that this is not a credit check. The application is needed to verify your business's identity and to help prevent illegal usage of the mobile app. There are 4 card application screens. Carefully enter your information to ensure accuracy. The applicant screen requires basic details on you as the individual applying on behalf of your business. The questions at the bottom of the screen will help you pre-populate entries later in the process. Select whether you're a senior manager who is able to make decisions on behalf of the business and if you own at least 25% of the business. If there are other individuals who own at least 25% of the business, select the number of additional owners. Tap Next. The business screen asks for details on your company. Enter your company name, then select and enter the tax ID type to which the business is registered. If applicable, enter the US DOT number and motor carrier number. Then, enter the business's address details. When finished, tap Next. The Key Person screen asks you to review the details you entered on the Senior Manager and individuals owning at least 25% of your business. This screen pre-populates with the values you entered on the applicant screen. Scroll through the Manager section and ensure all details are accurate, adding missing details as needed. You're required to specify if the Senior Manager is a U.S. citizen or not. If not, you must enter their passport's country of issuance and passport number. If they are a U.S. citizen, you must enter their Social Security number. The Owners section allows you to add or remove additional business owners as needed. If you selected additional owners on the applicant screen, you're required to verify their information here, including their U.S. citizenship. Tap Next. Review your application. You can go back through the application screen and correct any errors. If correct, enter your full name and attest to the statement at the bottom of the screen. Then, tap Confirm and Apply. If you receive an error, you can re-attempt to register. Once complete, you will go into a pending status until your application is reviewed by ComData's compliance team. You should receive notification of our decision within 24 to 48 hours. If approved, you will receive your ComData card within 3 to 5 business days. Money cannot be loaded onto the card until you receive and validate your card. Once you receive the card, return to the mobile app and tap Get Started. Enter the last 6 digits of your card number, then tap Submit. Make sure you follow the directions to create your PIN so that your card can be used at ATMs and point-of-sale devices. Your ComCheck mobile account and card are now active and you have full functionality in the mobile app. Next time you need to receive an advance, settlement, or payment, ask if it can be sent to you via ComCheck Mobile. You can check your balance, deposit funds to a bank account, or peer-to-peer transfer to another user. You can even add the balance of an express code to your card with just a few taps. Use your ComData card anywhere Maestro PIN debit cards are accepted, or to withdraw money from ATMs within the Cirrus network. Note that you will be charged a fee if you check your balance at an ATM. To check your card balance for free, use the home screen in the mobile app. To view your fee schedule for certain transaction types, tap Legal Privacy on the home screen, and then tap ComData Card Fee Schedule. For support questions regarding this topic, call the number on the back of your card or email comcheckmobilesupport@comdata.com. Thanks for watching.
All right, everybody. I'm going to stop that. Cut that out right there. Stop my share real quick. All right. As you all just saw, that's how you get set up with ComData and EFS. Now, for those of you who missed last week's training and you're not up to date on what we're talking about, yeah, hold on. Let me turn that off. My bad. For some reason, I still had that up and going, and it was picking up. It was picking that up. All right, I do apologize. Let me get back to where I was. Hold on here. There we go. All right. Now, for those of you who are not up to date on what we did last week with ComData and EFS, there's a reason for ComData and EFS checks. Okay. And remember, those are usually used to pay stuff outside of what's normally on the Raycon or what you would normally pay for. They're outside of paying the actual load fees. So usually when you pay for stuff with ComData and EFS check, it's for stuff that falls outside of the load fees, like lumper fees. Those of you who don't know what a lumper is the people who load the trucks and unload the trucks. Now, you don't have lumper fees on every load. As a matter of fact, it's on a small percentage of loads compared to the overall scheme of things. Okay, and most lumper fees are going to be on refrigerated loads. Okay, you will have them on some dry van loads, but for the most part, you don't have lumper fees on dry vans as much as you have with refrigerated. About 80% of all refrigerated loads are going to require some type of lumper, some type of paid service that's going to load or unload them. Most of the time, it's in the unloading, not the loading. Okay, most of the time, it's in the unloading, not the loading. That's not to say that it can be on the loading, but for the most part, it's on the unloading of the products. Okay, and 85, maybe even 90% of all lumper fee associated transactions are gonna be with refrigerated trucks. Now, there is about 25, maybe 30% of dry van loads that require lumpers. Okay, usually with dry vans, is usually charged with stuff that you have to actually walk onto the truck and take off by hand, like boxes or crates or little small crates of stuff. You got a whole bunch of stuff like that. That's not sitting on pallets, because if it's on a pallet, that means they can just roll up in there with the forklift, slide it in, get it, and go. So stuff that can be taken off with the forklift, palletized stuff, is new. You usually don't have to pay lumper fees for that. But if you've got a dry van full of boxes that are not heavy boxes and they all have to come off, that means that somebody's got to go in there and take those boxes off hand by hand. So they usually have about 5, 6, 7 people that are doing the unloading. Now, when that happens, you gotta pay those people, and that's not for the truck driver. The truck driver does not pay them. Yes, the truck driver is the one who issues the ComData checks, but they get an authorization code from the broker, because the broker is the one who's responsible for funding that. Okay, so it's not for the truck driver to pay lumper fees. It falls on brokers, on you all. So if you are a broker, you are responsible for paying the lumper fees. Okay. Other things that ComData and EFS checks can be used for: toll fees. Like if you have a certain load that's going and you got to go through, 2 or 3 different tolls. Well, brokers should pay for that too. Okay. Yes, the truck driver is going to call it in. They're going to get an authorization code. They're going to give the authorization code to the toll booth people. They're going to run it, and then bam, they're going to run them through. Okay. Same thing with lumper. Same thing with lumper fees. The truck driver, the driver themselves, is going to call up the broker or text the broker or text their dispatcher. The dispatcher is going to contact that broker and get that EFS code or that ComData code. Okay, that authorization code. Then they're going to send the authorization code back over to the driver, or they're going to send it directly to the receiving shipper. Once they get that code, then that money is automatically transferred. Okay, but you are responsible for brokers. Brokers are responsible for paying those types of fees and authorizing those ComData checks and the EFS checks. Now, this brings up a very important point. All right, today's training is not going to be long, but it is going to be very valuable. Okay, this brings up another point. The question comes up now is, okay, so if this is not part of the regular load fees, it's not payable through the load fees, where do brokers get that money to pay for lumpers and tolls and other things that need to be paid out of the brokers end with ComData and the EFS checks? Where do they get that money from? Okay, well, that's part of your margin. Remember, we talked about one of the first classes that I give y'all when we started all this. We talked about negotiating your margins with shippers, how brokers should negotiate margins. Now, not every broker negotiates margins with shippers, and that gets them in trouble, especially if you are a small firm. Now, if you're a big brokerage firm, you really don't worry too much about that, because you got so many, so many loads and so much, money in contracts and all this other stuff. You can afford to kind of pay that extra money for lumpers and all this other stuff without really having a margin. But most large brokerage firms, they know how to negotiate margin. They negotiate margin. What we see a problem is with a lot of you independent brokers, like most of you all who are here and who take my class, you all are independent. You paid all this money to get your bond. Bond costs you anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000 just to get your bond, because $7,500. You paid $3,600 and some odd dollars just to get your insurance. You're paying $900 or $1,000 per quarter for your insurance. You're paying, you got all these fees that you're paying, and on top of that, you got all your compliance stuff and cost that's associated with that. So where are you going to get money to pay for these little things that pop up, like lumper fees and toll fees and stuff that the carrier needs to pay for, that you are responsible for paying? Where does that money come from? Well, it comes from properly negotiating your margin. That's why it's so important to negotiate your margin. Now, a lot of freight broker instructors, they don't teach this. A lot of independent freight brokerage firms, they don't practice this anymore. For whatever reason, I don't know, okay? Maybe they find it too difficult to negotiate with shippers, okay? If a shipper's not willing to negotiate a margin with you, when I was a broker and I was negotiating margin on a shipper, and not every shipper was willing to give me a margin. So guess what? I didn't do business with those shippers. Plain and simple. I moved on to the next. There are 19 million plus shippers in the United States. I mean, do you have to sit there and endure whatever you have to endure, or accept the shipper if they're not offering you a margin, right? Do you have to accept that shipper? Do you have to go with that shipper? No, you don't. You're the broker. You decide who you want to contract with. And it's a numbers game. 19 million plus shippers. If one shipper says, well, I don't do margin, okay, well, thank you. I appreciate your business. If you ever change your mind, look me up. Hang up and move on to the next one. It's just that simple. Because I promise you, the shippers you get who are willing to give you a margin, you will make money no matter what the market is doing. You will make money on cheap freight, mid-range freight, and high dollar freight, and you have more than enough money to take care of any little things that comes up outside of the rate fee, the load fee that needs to be paid for, and you'll still make plenty of money because you have negotiated a proper margin. Now, in case you all don't know what a proper margin is, let me start sharing my screen again here real quick, and I'm gonna pull up my calculator, and I'm gonna show you all what we're talking about when we talk about negotiating margins. All right. Here's my good old trusty calculator. All right. When you go to a shipper, when you reach out to a shipper, give me a second to get my coffee. When you reach out to a shipper as an independent broker, you should have done your research before you contact that shipper. Okay, if you're just calling shippers randomly, you haven't done your research, you haven't done your due diligence, as they say, on that shipper, then you did wrong. Okay, you need to do your due diligence. You need to find out, first of all, how much business is that shipper doing? Okay, we have a website that we provide to our people who join our platform, both dispatchers and brokers. It's Trucking Planet. Okay, and we have a lifetime membership with Trucking Planet. And let me show y'all what that looks like. Trucking Planet. Okay, we have a lifetime membership with Trucking Planet, and it allows you to do some research on the shippers. Well, they give you a lot of built-in research things that you should know before you contact a shipper. Okay, and I'm going to show you all what those things are if you're looking for a shipper database. All right, see here in our shipper database here with Trucking Planet, we've got access to more than 34,000 dry van shippers, access to more than 10,900 flatbed and step deck and hot shot shippers, access to more than 2,900 refrigerated shippers, another 27,000 in distributors and wholesalers, 4,000 in fresh food and horticulture shippers, importers and exporters. We have more than 5,600 to access there. Medical equipment manufacturers, 2,800, 3PLs and commercial hose and warehouses, 1,200. And so on and so on and so on. So let's go ahead and let's look at some of these refrigerated shippers. Now, you notice when it pulls up here in our shippers list here through Trucking Planet, it gives us the name of the company. where they're located. It tells us their sales volume. This is very important when it comes to negotiating your margins. You're gonna want to know what the sales volume is of the shippers. Okay, that's basically how much, what their loads are worth, how much freight do they have, and what that freight is valued at. Okay, so that's basically what that is. So you want to go through, you want to look at the sales volume. Okay, it tells you what type of commodities that they have, whether it's food or whatever the case may be. And most of this is food, you know, that's coming up front, and that's going to be the case with refrigerated, because food has to be kept at a, you know, very, very low temperature for it to stay good. All right, and you got health food, so most of it's going to be food and stuff when you're dealing with any type of refrigerator. Okay, all right. So with that being said, you know you're dealing with food, you know the sales volume, right? Then you got to know the person who's in charge of making the decision. Well, it gives you that person's name and tells you their title, and it gives you their direct phone number and their direct email address. So you know when you contact the shippers that are in this list and the person you called or the person you send an email to, you are dealing with the person who can make a decision. You're not dealing with the secretary. You're not dealing with an assistant. You're not dealing with the security personnel. You're not dealing with the maintenance guy. You're not dealing with somebody where I don't know. Let me take your name and number, and I'll pass this up. I'll forward this over to my manager, and they'll get back with you. Well, you know you're never going to hear back from them. So you're not dealing with that person. You are actually talking with the person or conversing with the person who can make a decision. That's number one. Now, with that being said, once you get in here and you have evaluated this shipper and you know what their sales volume is, so now when you call that shipper up or you contact that shipper, and we're talking about margins now. Now when you contact that shipper, you're going to call them up and say, hey, Mr. Allen Byron, how you doing? My name is Calvin Butler with RBBS Transport LLC. We are a dispatch firm, or I'm a brokerage firm. If you are a brokerage firm, I'm a brokerage firm located out of Tallahassee, Florida. And not, by the way, I'm not a broker anymore. I'm just doing this just for the script. You know, I'm a brokerage firm out of Tallahassee, Florida, and I understand that you all have quite a bit of refrigerated items that need to be shipped. Okay, that y'all need to move. I see here you have somewhere upward close to $20 million in freight, $20 to $50 million in freight. They're gonna say, yeah, we got about 49 million, 48 million, 57 million, or whatever they confirm that they have. Okay, now you're also going to want to do a little bit more research on them. Okay, which you can do that through Safer Web and you put them up on Google and things like that, and you can pretty much determine from doing that what percentage of their freight is low dollar freight, as we call cheap freight. Let me tell you something. Every shipper has more cheap freight than they have of mid-range freight and high dollar freight. It's just part of the industry. But guess what? All freight has to move, not just the high dollar freight and the mid-range freight. All freight must move. If shippers are not moving a great percentage of all their freight, they are not going to be in the shipping business for long. Okay, because they're getting their products from somewhere that they have to ship. They're getting it from freight forwarders from overseas or whatever the case may be, and they have made a commitment to move with X amount of that freight to satisfy their clientele, just like you have to satisfy your clientele. So with that being said, you as a broker, brokers will put in place to assist shippers, domestic shippers, with moving all of their freight, not just their high dollar freight and their mid-range freight. Why were brokers put into place to do this? Because owner operators who are their own companies, independent contractors, they do not fall under something that says they have to move cheap freight. They can decide what type of freight and how much freight they want to move, depending on what it costs, that's going to make their truck profitable. So owner operators don't have to take the low dollar freight. You see what I'm saying? So what was happening was, back when owner operators used to deal primarily with shippers and there were no brokers in between them, owner operators got in the habit of only taking the high dollar freight and the mid-range freight, and the low dollar freight, the cheap freight, just sat there. It just sat there, went to waste, expired, spoiled, whatever the case may be. The longer it sits, the more money it costs on the shipper. So shippers were actually starting to lose money. So then they came up with the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration and DOT. They authorized for the creation of brokers. This is why brokers have to have a bond. They have to have insurance. They have to have the authority to take ownership of freight. Okay, this goes into explaining why brokers are totally different from dispatchers. Okay, now here comes the broker. You are the broker. You're an independent broker. And mind you, this industry was really not set up to support small independent brokerage firms. This industry was actually set up to support the very large conglomerate of brokerage firms. So you're at a disadvantage already. You know, if you're coming in as an independent broker, you don't have the money. Your financials are not nearly as substantial as a large brokerage firm where they can actually prepay for a good portion of their freight. Whoa, yeah, that's right. They can prepay for a good portion of their freight. So they have true owners. A lot of brokerage firms, big brokerage firms, they have true ownership of freight because they have prepaid the shipper for that freight. You see what I'm saying? They've negotiated a deal where they prepaid the shipper for that freight, and then they price their own freight. That's why a lot of the big brokerage firms don't really worry about margins, because they got enough money to go ahead and just prepay their freight, buy it for the shipper, then they can price their freight whatever they want to price that. Yeah, that's right. But all you independent people, you don't have 20% of $50 million, do you? You don't have 20% of $20 million. You don't have 20% of $2 million. I mean, I don't know a shipper out there that even the smallest mom and pop shipper, a little lumber company, has more than $1 million worth of freight. Do you have 20% of $1 million laying around? Do you have 200 grand laying around that you can prepay for at least 20% of that freight? No, you don't. Okay, so therefore you cannot operate like a big, large brokerage firm does. You have to go into these negotiations with the mindset of I need to negotiate a margin with that shipper, and I need to be able to get that margin to be able to help me move all that freight. And here is how that works. When you contact that shipper, you say, Mr. Shipper, I see here you have $50 million worth of freight. Shipper says, yeah, we actually have about $57 million worth of freight. Okay, we also see here, Mr. Shipper, that on generally most shippers, about 60% of their freight, let's say you got $57 million worth of freight. Now, 60% of that $57 million freight is what's called cheap freight, low value, low dollar freight. That's freight that's less than $1.25, less than $1 per mile. So that's 6% of that is actually cheap freight. So you got $34,200,000 of that $57 million is actually freight that's priced below $1.25 per mile. That's a lot of freight that's sitting at $1.25. How many carriers are going to move freight that's paying $1.25 a mile? Michelle, B, y'all know many owner operators that would take a load paying $1.25 a mile?
No.
I don't either. Now there are companies. There is a part of the industry that does move cheap freight in large scale, and those are company drivers. Because the companies, remember, they have drivers, especially a lot of these companies that are paying drivers like CRT that are paying their drivers like 18, 19 cents a mile. Yeah, they can afford to move cheap freight because they have cheap labor. Okay, they're not paying their drivers very much. They have cheap labor. Okay, so that's why you see a lot of that cheap, a lot of cheap freight is moved by big companies like Swift and CRT and who else? Western Express and some of these, a lot of these companies that pay these drivers less than 30 cents per mile. Now Covenant don't move cheap freight. Because Covenant pays this driver 53 to 63 cents a mile. They're a team driving truck. They move all the time, so they move a lot of freight. Why? Because their trucks are always moving. and they get good paying freight, so they can afford to pay their drivers good money. But they're very picky about who they choose as company drivers come with a Covenant. I started my career with Covenant Transport. Okay, and if you're working with Covenant, you can't be with Covenant and be turning down loads. No sirree. You turn down 2 loads with Covenant, you may not see another load for 3 months. You'll be sitting out there starving. But if you're willing to run, wherever they send you, whenever they send you, they will keep you loaded. Me and my partner, we ran about 7,900 miles per week. That's combined miles. We were each getting about 3,750 miles each. Topping out at 63 cents a mile. That's good money, y'all. That's good money. But you only get that kind of money if you're willing to run. You got to run. You got to run. No matter where they want to send us. I don't care if it was the mountains. I don't care if it was snow. I don't care if it was ice. If it was Canada, if it was Mexico, we went. We were ready to go. Okay? But this is how this whole industry is set up like this. So let's back to the independent owner-operator, because that's who we deal with. Most brokers are going to be dealing with independent owner-operators. And the independent owner-operator is not going to run freight for $1.25. They ain't going to do it. So that means the majority of that freight is freight that's just going to sit there unless you have negotiated your margin. Now, you got 6% of your freight is called cheap freight. That's $34,200,000 worth of freight that is below $1.25, right? So that's going to leave them with what? That's going to leave them with about $22,800,000. Now, out of that $22,800,000, another probably about 30% of that, okay? Probably, no, I take that back. Probably about 60% of that is mid-range freight. Closer to 70%, really. So let's say 70% of that is going to be mid-range freight. That's freight that's going to be priced at somewhere between $1.75 and $3, maybe $3 per mile. That's called mid-range freight. Most of it's around that $2.25, $2.50, $2.75. All right. So 70% of that $22,800,000 that's left over is going to be mid-range freight. So that amount is another 70%. That means that $15,960,000 of that is mid-range freight, $1.75 to $3 per mile. Okay. That's going to leave just $6,840,000 worth of what we call high-paying freight. Now, Michelle, B, that's not a whole lot of, high-paying freight, is it? Compared to $50 million worth of freight.
Nope.
But that's the market. That's the market. Now, can a shipper survive on just moving their high and mid-range freight? Are they going to be in business very long?
No.
Yeah, because look, if if they got close to 27, 30, close to 27, almost $37 million, right? That's cheap freight. They're gonna have some very unhappy clients with their freight not moving. So they gotta find a way to move all that freight. All of it has to go. Not just this little $6,800,000 worth of high dollar freight that's paying somewhere between $4 and $10 per mile on average. So every now and then you'll see stuff that jumps way up like it is now because of the way the market is. Fuel prices are high, so rates are up high, right? So you now see a lot of high dollar freight now. You see high dollar freight now being $25 a mile, $16 a mile, $19 a mile. Now I promise you that's not the norm. It's not going to stay that way. The market is gonna.
When you make your tea.
Now, at some point, the
But I'm
market.
gonna use this tea here.
Hold on, Miss B, you need to mute your mic. At some point in time, the market is going to revert back to its normal standards, and that freight is going to come down because the fuel price is going to go down. Then the freight's going to adjust to come back down too. Right now, the freight is kind of high because fuel prices are high. Because of the economy, the way things, because the industry always adjusts itself to stay in line with the market. It always adjusts itself, okay? So with that being said, now you got $6,840,000 of high-paying freight. Shippers cannot survive on high paying freight alone. Okay, to use an old adage, but you can't survive on high paying freight alone. So with that being said, you have to negotiate a margin. So you got to, like Mr. Shipper, consider the fact that 60% of your freight, almost $30 million of your high paying of your $50 million on what the freight is below $1.25 per mile. Now I've got to have a decent margin if I am going to make that freight more attractive to owner operators, because no owner operator is going to ever move anything that's that low in price. Mr. Shipper, you do understand that. I'm correct? Y'all see what I'm doing? You're selling now. You got to sell yourself. You got to sell your service. That's what freight brokering and dispatching is. It's all sales. And a lot of freight broker trainers don't teach the sales aspect of this business, which is probably one of the most important aspects of this business. You got to be a salesperson. You got to be a decent salesperson in order to sign up shippers. You got to be a decent salesperson in order to get owner operator to sign on to your dispatch firm. You got to be a decent salesperson to sell loads to the carriers. You got to be a salesperson. This don't work if you can't sell. Trust me on that. None of this works if you can't sell. Okay? All right. So you as a salesperson, because you took my training and you learn how to become a salesperson, right? You pretty good at sales. So you guys have to show Mr. Shipper, okay? $30 million plus of your $50 million worth of freight is cheap freight, $1.25 or less. I can't move that freight for you. No owner operator wants to move freight that's less than $1.25, especially with gas now being $5 per gallon on diesel. Mr. Shipper, you do understand that, right? Get them to agree with you. Well, yeah, we understand that. Now, once you get them to agree with you, then you pretty much got control of the game. You control negotiation now because you've gotten them to agree that something has to give. And what has to give is that margin. So with that being said, more than 60% of your freight is low dollar freight. Okay. Only about another 20% of that is mid-range freight, and then you got about less than 10% of your freight is high dollar freight. You can't live on high dollar freight alone, right, Mr. Shipper? Well, that's true. We got to move it out. All right, great. So here's what I'm proposing. In order for me to move, I feel like with my connections in the industry, the number of load boards that I have access to, so I can put my stuff out there, my social media presence, I've got more than, 2.6 million followers on LinkedIn. I've got more than 100,000 followers on Twitter. I got more than 9,000 followers on Facebook, and my Facebook page, I have 12 Facebook groups, and they're all averaging about 30,000 to 20,000 members to each group. And all these groups are owner operator related. See, this is why I train you all and I advise you all to boast your social media presence. Because this comes into play when you're negotiating with shippers. Because they want to know if you have your finger on the pulse of the industry. They're going to want to know that you have some type of influence or you have some type of following that when you post your loads, because a broker can post loads out there. A brokers can shotgun loads. A brokers can go to load boards and post loads. Dispatchers can't do that because that's illegal for them to do so. Why? Because they cannot take ownership of freight. They don't have a bond. They don't have insurance. They don't have the authority to do so. Now y'all are starting to clearly see the line between dispatchers and brokers. Okay? If you go to a lot of these groups on Facebook and things like that, you're going to notice that a lot of these groups, if you check to see who the administrators are, I will be willing to bet you that 80% of the administrators are brokers. I got close to 60 groups on Facebook, all trucking related. Freight brokers versus truckers. Freight brokers, dispatchers, and truckers network. Who wants to become a freight broker? Lowe's, freights, what's another one got? Lowe's, freights, factoring, and dispatching and broker services. All those groups, a lot of y'all are members of those groups, but you didn't know I'm the one that set those groups up. That's right. I own those groups. A lot of y'all don't even know that. I own those groups. Why? Because when I was a broker, I set up all these social media groups that would give me a post on the industry. So when I post stuff out there, I've got thousands of owner-operators looking at it. If I post loads out there, the social media load board, that's my group too. Where I used to post loads out there, all these truckers see these great paying loads. Oh, let me go to him. Let me call that up. Let me get that load, get that load, get that load. That's how you keep your post. This is and by having that type of influence, that's going to influence your negotiations with shippers. Michelle, Ms. Beard, y'all follow me on this right now?
Yes.
All right. So now you
I
got,
follow you. I have a question.
sure.
So with the model and example you just gave,
Well, I haven't finished giving it yet.
no, I'm talking about the groups you set up
Uh-huh.
and posting the higher loads. That can afford you to be a broker of only the higher loads, right?
No, because you're not going to just post just your higher lows, and that's why I think your question is premature. That's why I
Okay.
said that's why I haven't finished yet. Like I said,
Okay,
I
I'm
haven't
sorry.
finished
I'll
it
wait.
yet.
I'll wait.
Yeah, your question is kind of premature because you got to see how this plays in to not just your high paying loads, but your low paying loads and your mid range loads.
Okay.
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 So
Sorry.
all right. So now you're in the negotiation with the shipper, Mr. Shipper. Now, based on the fact that $30 million, your $50 million is cheap freight. Only about 20% of your freight is mid-range freight, freight that's between, $1.75 and $3 per mile. And only about 10% of your freight is high dollar freight. Okay. Now, based on that, and based on the fact that I have a very large influence and a very large presence on social media, okay, I have access to more than 100 load boards that I can post to. I have, all this stuff that I have access to. I have great relationship with owner-operator networks. I have an actual network that has more than 2,967 industry professionals in it, and about 1,000 of those are owner-operators. Now, with that being said, I feel like I can help you move across the board this year. I can help you move about 40% of all your freight, including your cheap freight, mid-range freight, and high dollar freight. So if you got $50 million worth of freight, here's what I feel like I can move for you this year. I feel like I can move $20 million worth of freight. And I can evenly disperse that to where I'm moving just as much cheap freight as I am moving mid-range freight and high dollar freight. Now, shippers will go, that sounds good. But in order to do that, I'm going to need a margin of 33 1/3%. 33 1/3%. That's right. Shippers say, well, let me do the calculation on that, Mr. Butler. At 33 1/3%, let's say my cheap freight, most of my cheap freight is around, say $1.25 a mile. And the average miles on that is going about 1,100 miles. So that means you got 1,100 miles. So that means you're telling me you want 33 1/3% margin on across the board. That's on cheap freight, low dollar freight, and high dollar freight. So on my cheap freight, that's going to be about, on a freight that's paying $1.25 a mile, going 1,100 miles, that's going to equal to about, hold on, I did something wrong. 1,100 plus 33.3%. Here we go. So that means that's going to be, you want me to pay you, you want me to give you an additional $366.30 on the cheap freight. Okay. That don't sound too bad, but on my high dollar freight, most of my high dollar freight is going for around $6.50 per mile. And the average distance on that freight that has to go is not quite as far, because most high dollar freight is short mileage. So it's going to be, and some of it is long miles, but most of it is going to be short miles. Y'all do realize that. So that's going to be about 750 miles on average. Some higher, some lower, but it's going to be about 750 miles. So that times 750. So that's about $4,875. on that. So $4,875 plus 33 1/3%. Woo, that's $1,623. I don't think I can afford to pay you average $1,623 on $6 million worth of freight. y'all see how that goes? All right. So I'm thinking, now this is the shipper talking. So now you're in negotiation. This is called negotiating your margin. Now the shipper said, well, I'm thinking what I can do across the board. Because we don't want to get into this has this margin, that has that margin. You want to make sure your margin is even across the board. Does everybody see the importance of having your margin the same across the board?
Yes, because it'll keep the price ratios the same.
Exactly. And it's easier for you to manage and move stuff around to make more freight more attractive when you need to. All right. So we want to keep the freight of even margin across the board. So the shipper comes back and says, here's what I'm proposing. I think I'm willing to give up a 15% margin. Now you're looking at that, you say, I don't know, because on that freight that's paying, let's say, $6,000 plus 15%, that's only $900. And on the cheap freight that's paying $1,100 plus 15%, that's only paying $165. That ain't gonna quite work, because if I took the whole $165 and we've already determined that that cheap freight at $1.25 going about 1,100 miles, right? So that's $1.25 times 1,100 miles. That's $13.75 plus what? Another. What was that? That was also going to be another what? What were we looking at on that? 165. Yeah, looking at another plus 165. That's 1,540. Divide that by 1,100 miles. I'm still on looking at $1.40 a mile, right? Most carriers still ain't gonna take that, right? Most owner operators still not gonna take that, right?
Right.
So that means in order to make that freight at least $2 a mile, I got to give up all my margin on my mid-range and my high dollar freight just to bring that cheap freight up. And then I'm just breaking even. Mr. Shipper, that's not gonna work. Let me give you a counter offer. Okay. Let me see about how about, since 33 1/3% is too high, 15% is way too low. Why don't we try 29%? Now the shipper's going to look at that and say, well, the 29% might still be a little too high, Mr. Butler. Why don't we try 25%? Then you're going to come back and say, well, why don't we try, I tell you what, Mr. Shipper, let's split the difference and let's call it even and we'll go from there. 27 1/3%. Shipper says, well, okay, that sounds fair. 27 1/3%. So now what you have is this. You've got that $1.25 freight, right? Going 1,100 miles, $13.75 plus another 27 1/3%, 27.3%. That's $375. It's going to give you $1,750. Divide that by what? 1,100 miles. Now you get $1.59. Now you get $1.60 a mile. So that means you have to borrow a little bit of money from your what? High dollar freight and your low dollar freight to bring it around what? $2 per mile, right?
Right.
And you still got money to make on your high and mid-range freight, right? Why? Because that same 27 1/3% on that high dollar freight, remember that freight that was paying $6,000? That was going 900 miles. So now your freight that's going $6,000, well, let's put it this way. Let's say your freight now that's paying $7 per mile times 900 miles, 6,300, right? And remember, you got a margin of 27 1/3%. So you got that plus 27.3%. 0.3%. You got another $1,700 to play with there. So if you needed to borrow money from there to go down to your cheap freight, let's say you need to borrow $500, you can afford to you can afford to borrow $500 from there, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, you could afford to, but
what?
I mean, okay. Now I'm gonna let you finish, and then I'll ask a question.
Because all freight has to move. You can't just move high dollar freight. Listen to what I'm telling you. You can't just move high dollar freight. So if you got on average $1,700 on your high dollar freight, right? But you only got $375 on your low dollar freight, or your $175 on your low dollar freight. But if you negotiate the 27-30%, you got $375 to spend on your low dollar freight. But if you took all your margin on your low dollar freight and you added it to the load fee for the carrier, it's still going to be $1.49 per mile. You're still going to have trouble getting the carrier to run that load. But if you take, let's say, $700 from this, we're still going to leave you over $1,000 profit on your your high dollar freight, right? So if you take $700 from that and you move it down to that $1.25, right, times 1,100 miles equals $13.75, right? But you add your $3.75 to that from that market. Remember, you got a 27 to 30% margin on that. So that means you got $375 that you can move off your margin. That's your profit. That's how brokers are supposed to make money from their margin. Brokers are not supposed to be taking money from what's allocated for the owner operator and then putting it in their pocket. Like if the load is paying $2,000 from the shipper, then the broker takes $500 from it and posts on the load board $1,500. That's why a lot of old time owner operators say brokers are stealing their money, because they are. You are dead behind wrong if that's how you're operating as a broker. It's not ethical. Is it being done that way? You can bet your bottom dollar it is by a lot of brokers, most of them independent brokers. Because that's the easy way for them to make money. The path of least resistance. But is it right? Is it ethical? Is it moral? That's the question you got to ask yourself. And by doing business that way, can you sustain your brokerage firm and still make money even when the market is bad? No, you cannot, because your money is based on taking money from somebody else. Do you understand that?
Yes.
It requires a little bit more work and effort on your part to negotiate a situation that would allow you to make money, but allow the owner operator to still make money and allow the shipper to move all the freight that they need to move. But of course, that's going to take a little bit more work on your part. Doing things the right way is not always the easiest way. And that's what I try to get my students to understand. Doing things the right way is not necessarily going to be the easiest way. It's easy to do things the wrong way. It's very easy to do things the wrong way. If you want to make money, the easiest thing to do is go take it from somebody else, steal it, break into somebody's house, steal their car, do a home invasion. That's easy. What's hard is getting your behind out there and working for it. Getting your behind out there and developing a business and coming up with a business concept that's going to make you money legally and make you money that's going to benefit yourself and everybody who's doing business with you. That's hard. So the question you have to ask yourself, do I want to steal and do it the easy way? Or do I want to work and put some type of ingenuity into it and do it the right way and still make money? But what I'm showing you all right now is the ethical, moral, right way to do it, and everybody makes money. But back to what I said, now you got that right there. But remember, you got $700 that you can take and move down to that load. Because right now, that load right there, divided by 1,100 miles, is still what? Just what? $1.25 a mile. But if you add your $375 to it that you got on that load, right? That was what, $13.75 plus your margin of $3.75. You're gonna take your whole margin from the low paying freight. You're gonna You're gonna add your profit to it. That's gonna make it $17.50. But even that is still what? Divided by 1,100 miles, that's still only $1.59 a mile. But if you take that same $17.50 now and you move just $700 of your $1,700 margin from your high dollar freight, right? And you add that $700 to that, now you get $24.50 a mile. Divide that by 1,100 miles. Now, is that something that you can probably get an owner operator to pick up and move?
Yes.
Do you not move your cheap freight and you still make $1,000 on your high dollar freight? Right? Because you still got $1,000 left on your margin on the high dollar freight, right? Talk to me. Do you not see the math in that? And you haven't even touched it, and you haven't even touched your mid-range freight. So you're still retaining $1,000 profit on your high-range freight, and you're still retaining your full profit on your mid-range freight, which is your full margin, and you have even out and balanced your low-dollar freight, thus making it more attractive on the load board, making it more competitive, and the carrier is now more likely to pick that up because everybody else has got that freight posted for $1.25. Trust me when I tell you, I know what the hell I'm doing.
So how much would that cheap rate rise up per mile? How much would it go up?
That is right there. It's going to rise up $2.23 a mile.
223. Okay.
Yeah, there's the math right there. This is the art of negotiating your margins. Now, how does this tie into EFS and what you call it? Because if you're doing it the way other people do it, the way these, I don't want to call it a name, the way these freight broker trainers that are not teaching you how to do it the right way. Let me see it nicely. If you're doing it their way, when something pops up on a load, let's say you're able to get a carrier to move that cheap freight, all right? And then they get to the shipper and they're getting a drop low, and the shipper says that we won't take this until you pay this lumper fee. How much is the lumper fee? $400. Where the hell that money gonna come from, y'all? And the broker supposed to pay it. So that means now the broker's gonna go what? In the negative, right? Right? Because they don't have what? A margin. Can you stay in business by going in the negative as a broker? You can't afford to be giving away crap and paying money just to give it away. You can't afford to go in your pocket and pay out your own pocket, right? Without having a margin, right?
So your margin is multi-purpose.
Exactly.
Because it's your cushion, it's your backup, and it's your wiggle room.
Yes, and it's your profit.
And your profit.
And it allows you to make money no matter what the market is doing on both cheap freight, mid-range freight, and high dollar freight. And it also allows the owner operator to make what? A decent rate, therefore giving them reason to move all your freight and not just your high and mid-range freight.
Right. So that margin gives you the money to work with to move that low range and middle range freight to keep you in business for the high range.
Exactly.
Okay.
See how all this kind of ties in now? Because anything, when you're doing business the wrong way, there's always consequences, right? You can go and rob somebody's house, but chances are you might get shot and killed. Chances are, if you do get away with money, chances are you might get caught and then go to prison. Right? Right? Same thing with anything else. If you take the easy way out, you're gonna have to pay the piper somewhere down the road. Learn how to negotiate your margins, people. I don't care who you got your training from. I don't care what they say. Well, you can do it this way. It's not illegal, but is it moral? This is the reason why you have a lot of old-time owner operators. A lot of the old school guys, they hate dealing with brokers. That's why they don't like brokers. You all hear it all the time. Brokers are stealing. They're always stealing my money. I know they're making more money on this. They're stealing my money. Well, they have good reason to say that because most brokers are stealing their money. If you call shoot, if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, then it's a what? What is it?
Duck.
What is it? It's a duck. It ain't no chicken. It ain't no eagle. It ain't a hawk. It's a duck. Call it what it is. So stop acting like a duck. Okay, stop acting like a duck. Now I know there's a lot of freight broker traders out there saying, man, Calvin, you know what the hell you talking about? You trying to make us look bad. Now I'm making you look like what you is. Okay? Because I don't do business that way. When I was a broker, I negotiated my margin. If I had a shipper that was not willing to give me a margin, okay, Mr. Shipper, I thank you very much. Appreciate your time. If you ever change your business practices, feel free to look me up. I'll be more than happy to work with you. You have a nice day. And I move on to the next shipper. Why? Because you got what? Look at all these doggone shipping. This is just for what? This right here is just for what? This is just for dry van freight. I'm sorry, just for refrigerated freight. Y'all see all this? Y'all see all this? All these shippers? If I call just the refrigerated freight, I'd never in my lifetime go through all these shippers. And you got what? There's 200 on this one page right here. That's 200 of 2,918. Please. I mean, you got more shippers than you can ever contract with. So why are you worried about one shipper telling you, well, I don't do business that way, I don't do margin? Okay, well, have a nice day, thank you. Move to the next one. Move to the next one. Move to the next one. Oh, you do negotiate margin. Okay, great. Let's work with you. All right, get that one signed up. Move to the next one. 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 Move to the next 10. Oh, you do work with you. Oh, you do negotiate margins. Okay, let's work with you. Move to the next one. Y'all see what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to work. Because if you put in the work, I guarantee you'll make plenty of money. But don't be afraid to work. Don't be afraid to do business the right way. Don't be afraid to put the effort in to put yourself in a situation where you make money, the carrier makes money, and the shipper makes money because they get to move all their freight and not just this freight right here. That's all I got for y'all today. All right. Did y'all get something out of that? Did y'all learn something today?
Now you know I learned something today.
Hey, I just looked for the confirmation. I just had to make sure y'all did indeed learn something and y'all did indeed enjoy the training. Let me check over here with my YouTube people to see what they got to say. See if they learned anything, if they appreciate the knowledge that was bestowed upon them today. We got 11 people watching. That's all I got for y'all. Mika Chow over here. All right. We got Mika Chow over here. She says, good morning. We got 11 people watching, but only Mika is chiming in. But hey, I appreciate you chiming in with us and everything. Look, I try to drop knowledge each time I come on here. I really do, because I understand that it's hard out there. Look, but it's only hard if you make it hard. If you follow what I'm trying to convey to you all. Okay, if you follow what I'm trying to convey to you all, if you all want to, do this the right way, tune in to my live trainings. If you want to tune in for free, go to YouTube, join in, tune in. If you want to participate and get access to the tools, resources, training, support, and everything that we offer, come on over and join the RBBS Logistics Learning Centers. Come over here. You can go ahead and go to mydispatcher.org. That's mydispatcher.org. And this is where you go to sign up. You can go here, or you can go to our Vocational School site, and you can sign up there as well. I'm going to put this on YouTube for you people who are on YouTube, so y'all can see it there. Okay? You can go and get signed up there by coming over to mydispatcher.org, our homepage here, and the reputation built by service. By the way, that's what RBBS stands for, in case y'all didn't know. Reputation built by service. Okay? Training in the convenience of your home. Our online platform will train you to earn 100K plus from home, brokering and dispatching freight, and provide the online network, tools, resources, and training to ensure your success. you'll get access to more than 100 load boards. Now, as far as brokers are concerned, this really does not really help you out a whole lot because you all have to have your own paid access to load board because you're going to be posting freight. You're going to be posting loads. But this probably is not going to really help you all out a whole lot, but the rest of this will. This is primarily for our dispatchers, okay? People who join our platform to learn how to dispatch. This is going to benefit them a whole lot, okay? But the rest of this does apply to brokers. Access to more than 140,000 hours of operational training videos. Access to more than 19 million direct shippers. Brokers, where I just showed y'all where I go to where you can connect with shippers and get the actual person who's in charge. You get what they're doing in sales volume and all that we just talked about. This is going to benefit you all a whole lot as brokers. Access to more than 19 million direct shippers. Access to every registered owner operator in the United States. Access to live training. Access to our logistics library. Access to our network of more than 2,967 industry professionals. Access, and by the way, that access right there, we also plug you all into our new networking chat group on Clubhouse, where you all get to actually talk to each other, help each other to understand the industry. You help each other to find and book freight. You're there to network with each other because that network is full of freight brokerage firm owners, dispatch firm owners, owner operators, shipping bank managers, and shippers. So you get access to a lot of industry professionals that can help you all along the way. Our most popular enrollment is just $349.95 plus tax and a monthly subscription of $39.95 per month plus tax. Several enrollment options available. To view all options, click the online enrollment. That's right there, the little button right there that says click online enrollment. Click that. That'll take you right over to our online enrollment page where you can choose the enrollment that's right for you. If you are a veteran, you get $100 off your enrollment and $10 off your monthly subscription. The individual enrollment plan, there it is right there. If you are a corporation or a company that has employees, you want us to train your people while you focus on running your company, guess what? You can enroll into the corporate enrollment. And that enrollment allows you to enroll up to 10 additional agents, all covered under that one $699.95 and just $99.95 per month. Saves you money. So that covers 11 of you. We also have Corporate Enrollment 2.0. If you are a much larger firm and you need to cover more than just 10 additional agents, you can cover up to 20 additional agents with Corporate Enrollment 2.0. That's just $999.95 plus tax. That covers all 21 of you and just $199.95 per month plus tax. Covers all 21 of you. Okay? Let us train your people. You concentrate on what? Running your company. All right. Now we also have a Corporate Enrollment Unlimited. You have to give us a call for that. You get it, and that's just what it is. It says unlimited. I actually have about 4 companies on with us that has that plan. It is $2,499.95 plus tax on your enrollment fee, and it's $299.95 per month plus tax. But it covers however many people you bring into your organization. Okay, so it works out great for those companies that have more than 20 freight broker agents or dispatch agents or whatever the case may be. Okay. And of course, we have our vocational school for those of you who want to go work for a federally bonded brokerage firm, because we have guaranteed career placement at the end of our 2-week course at our vocational school here in Tallahassee, Florida, which is $7,500. It is the tuition that includes your air travel to Tallahassee, Florida, and back home, or rental car to and from, or bus or train, however you want to get here. It also includes your 2-week lodging in hotel accommodations, double room occupancy. It also includes 3 restaurant meals per day at the local restaurants around the vocational school. It also includes 4 Uber and Lyft vouchers per day. They are not accumulative. If you don't use them, you lose them. So you get 4 each day, okay? So you can get around the city. And the actual course is 2 weeks long, taught by freight brokerage firm owners and dispatch firm owners. And those owners of freight brokerage firms and dispatch firms, they have agreed to hire anyone, offer anyone who graduates or completes the 2-week course with a passing grade of 70 or better you are guaranteed a position with their firm if you so choose to go with them. So we are the only logistics vocational school that offers guaranteed career placement. Ain't that something? Wow. All right. And of course, if you want to own and promote your own RBBS Logistics Learning Centers, we are giving you all the opportunity to own your own RBBS Logistics Learning Center and get all the same websites that I use, get our same Square, get the same Square account, the same Square store. So when you process someone through your RBBS Logistics Learning Centers and they sign up for any of these things like this right here, because you're gonna get the same Square store, but it's just gonna have your links in it. So when someone clicks on this and signs up for the corporate enrollment, that money goes into your Square account and you transfer all that money to your account. And depending on which trademark usage you choose, $1,500 to $10,000, depending on which one you choose, you're going to get a certain percentage, you get to keep a certain percentage of that money. Now, but listen to what I'm telling you. All the money goes into your account. And then if you came in at the $1,500 entry level, you're going to pay me 40% at the end of the month. That's my royalty, because I'm still doing all the training. I'll still do all the training for you. You ain't got to train. You just promote your RBBS Logistics Learning Centers and its subsidiaries. Because you not only get the RBBS Logistics Learning Centers, you also get RBBS Easy Lease, you get the Vocational School, and you get our new training platform, which is owner-op training, how to run a truck. Truck driving school taught them how to drive a truck, but now we're the only firm that teaches them how to make money in that truck. Find dedicated freight, have more home time, make more money, and provide them with load boards, tools and resources, things that they need to run their truck properly. Okay. If you come in at the $2,500 entry level, all the money goes to you. You pay me 20% on and all the royalties are paid on the last calendar day of each month. Okay, so you're gonna pay me 20% at this level. You keep 80% of the money. At the $5,000 trademark, you're gonna pay me 10% royalty, and you keep 90%. At the $10,000 trademark, you're gonna pay me 5%, and you keep 95%. So in other words, I work for you. You don't work for me. I work for you. I'm just becoming an employee of my own company. It's simple, okay? So you have those things that you can do too with the RBBS Logistics Learning Centers. And of course, we have our new training platform that we just introduced about 2 weeks ago. We have this training every Sunday at 6:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. How to run a truck. This is owner-op training, online training for new owner operators and those wanting more home time while making more money. Truck driving school taught you how to drive a truck. Now let us teach you how to run a truck. This new mentoring subscription training is focused on teaching the much needed skills of mastering the business of maximizing owner-op revenue. Finally, a training platform that teaches owner operators how to earn $300,000, $400,000, and $500,000 plus yearly while maximizing home time. Our How to Run a Truck subscription training platform features and provides access to multiple quality load boards and weekly training on how to effectively use them and consistently find high dollar freight and lanes. Also includes tools and resources I have been using for years to identify, evaluate, and create dedicated lanes. And this training right here, there are 3 ways you can sign up. You can sign up with a monthly subscription, which is just $79.99 per month. There is no enrollment fee, or a yearly subscription, which is $799.99 plus tax, or a lifetime membership for $1,499 plus tax. Okay, so that's our new owner-op training, which no one else in the industry is doing right now. We're the only logistics learning center that is providing owner-op training to show owner-operators how to make more money and provide them with the tools and resources to make that happen. All right. Woo, that's my plug for the day. Look, y'all, I've enjoyed you all like always. And I implore you all to take a hard look at our our trademark usage. Because look, In the last 3 years, I made more than $540,000. Well, actually more than $550,000 now. I made more than $550,000 in the last 3 years with just the freight broker online training and the dispatch online training by itself. I showed my Square earnings report just the other night, last week. It's also in this presentation if you click on it. Okay, it says right here, 2.3 million a month is the earning potential of the RBBS Logistics Learning Centers and its subsidiaries. Do you want to cut? Click here for a detailed presentation. Click that, that'll take you over and you can read the full details. And it breaks down what each division of what we are doing, what the earning potential is. It breaks down the vocational school. It breaks down the easy lease. It breaks down our online training, which our dispatch freight broker and the new owner op training. It breaks it all down for you. Okay. We even come down here and we show you my earnings report for just the dispatch training and the freight broker online training. It shows you what I've earned over the last 3 years at the date that I published this. But since then, I'm up another almost another 30 grand now. And I published this this was about a week ago, 2 weeks ago? No, 3 weeks ago. Yeah. And I'm up another 30 grand. So this platform makes money because it's popular. You also get access to all our YouTube videos and our YouTube channel. If you decide you want to do your own training, you can create your own YouTube channel, and it's still with better name, the RBBS Logistics Learning Center. So that means all of our 9,000 subscribers will become your 9,000 subscribers. And trust me, when you hit 500 subscribers on YouTube and you get X number of video views, they offer you a chance to make money on the ad revenue, 55% of the ad revenue. As I've shown y'all before, my ad revenue right now is up to about $200 and some odd per video. I have over more than 400 videos on my YouTube channel. Wow, that's like a separate income. That's not included in the 500,000 that I made over the last 3 years. So this is a business, you all. It is a very profitable business. And if you have the ability to come in and become an owner of an RBBS Logistics Learning Center, if you follow the training that we're going to be doing for our trademark owners, and if you promote your business, you're gonna make money. Trust me on that. You're gonna make money. Like I said, and I normally don't show people this stuff, but just to show you what this YouTube channel does. And you all have to remember, you all don't have to build a brand. I've already built the brand. I had to do this from scratch. I had to, from scratch, build 8,000, how many subscribers? 8,366 subscribers. I had to build this from scratch. I had to go from scratch to 9,000 views in the last 28 days. That's 2,500 more than usual. I had to go from scratch to get up to 1,300 hours of watch time. I had to do that from scratch. I had to build my 8,366 subscribers, 165 in the last 28 days. That's 69 more than usual. I had to go from scratch. I had to build up to this $205.46 in revenue, estimated revenue per video per month in the last each 28 days. I had to do that from scratch. Now you can do the math on that. I got 440 some odd videos on here. Actually 447, 449, because I just added 2 last night and this one right here. So the more videos I add and I monetize them, the more advertisers I have, which means I get more money in my ad revenue. Now you all can do the math on that. I'm not gonna do the math because I don't want people knowing, I'll let y'all do the math and y'all can quietly look at that and say, wow, if you want to. Okay. But you can do the same thing, and I'm going to make it easy for you, or easier for you to do than I did it. Why? Because I'm already established. And if you have your own RBBS Logistics Learning Center and you're doing your own training, that means what? My 8,000, 9,000 plus subscribers are going to just come right over and subscribe to yours too. Why? Because now they have more than one mentor to follow. They have more than one training session that they can go to. They have more training videos, unique videos that they can look at. They have someone who has their own personality and their own way of training and putting their own thing into it. Hopefully you are as entertaining, if not more entertaining than myself, because I'm sure people are not tuning in just for my pretty face. They're definitely not tuning in for that, not this ugly mug. And for God's sakes, I hope that you have knowledge. I hope that you have been following my training and you have developed a skill set of knowledge that you can pass on to others. If you can do that, trust me, you will earn a very good living in this industry, on this side of it. This, combined with your RBBS Logistics Learning Centers training platforms, your vocational school, Easy Lease, combined with your YouTube channel, if you have a desire to do so, it's a lot of money. Which makes this
Mr. Calvin,
yes, ma'am.
can I get a link to the training, the truck trainer on
Yes,
Sunday?
ma'am. Let me go to, well, if you're not enrolled in our, you can attend it if you're not enrolled in our, in that particular platform, but that's a separate platform. Okay.
Right, but I'm enrolled.
In the truck, you're enrolled in the freight dispatch training and the freight broker training.
Oh, you have to be enrolled separately for the truck?
Yes, because that's for truck drivers. That's for owner operators. It's
Okay.
not for dispatchers.
How much is it?
It's $79 a month. It's three different ways you can enroll. It's $79.99 per month plus tax, or you can enroll by the year and pay yearly, which is, hold on here, let me go back to it. I gotta go back to it now. There it is. All right, there we go. You can enroll monthly subscription is $79.99 plus tax per month, or you can enroll yearly subscription is $799.99 plus tax, and a lifetime subscription is lifetime membership is $1,499.99. I'll go ahead and click and give you this custom link so you can go in and take a look at it. And if you choose to enroll, you can do so. Hold on here. Where is the?
And this is part of the ownership, the trademark.
Yeah. If you get the trademark, of course you get all of this because you get. I mean, you
Yeah,
own.
I guess.
yeah. If you get the trademark, you own your own RBBS Logistics Learning Center, so you get all this that comes with it.
Okay.
Let's put it this way: if you are currently paying for my monthly subscriptions and the platforms, if you get your own RBBS Logistics Learning Centers, you no longer have to do that because you now own the stuff that you were
Paying
once
for.
enrolled to. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And you get to make money just like I did. I become your employee because I'm doing that training. I become the person who's doing all the training, right, for your students that you sign up. You get to use all my videos to promote your RBBS Logistics Learning Centers. If you choose to do your own training, you can set up we'll help you set up your own YouTube channel under the same name. Therefore, the people who are watching my stuff will just come over and watch your stuff. And if your training is on a different night, then that gives us more what? More appeal. And we get to more people. You see what we're doing? If I can get 15, 20 of you all to get your trademarks and start your own training platforms, what does that do for the company? Not just for you individually. Yes, your YouTube channel is going to start making money, and you're making money with your RBBS Logistics Learning Centers. So yes, your income is going to go crazy. But what does that do for the company? It helps us to corner the market when it comes to this online training, this YouTube training, all the stuff that you see a lot of the trainers out there now. They got their little segments, but then if we start doing what we're doing and start branching out, we got several mentors that people can go to. You may want to specialize in a certain thing. Your trainer might just want to specialize on dispatching or freight brokering or how to run a truck. But whatever your training is, we're going to have more of a mass appeal as a brand because it's all about the brand. I cannot make this company grow to the potential that it needs to grow to. I cannot make this brand as popular as it can be under just my direction alone. I had to find a way to get this brand in the hands of others and let them handle the business side. I handle the training, and then we can all grow as a brand. Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
That's all it is, people. But I'm going to give you this link in case you want to go and look at this. But I implore you to take a look at the trademark, because if you get a trademark, then you no longer have to pay for, you know, the classes. Why? Because you own the classes. Right? I'm sure the owner of, you know, the owner of McDonald's, when you go in and get a Big Mac, I don't think he pays for it. he had to be walked through, but I don't think he had to pay for it. Right? So there you have it. All right. Let me share this with you all on here. Where's my chat? There we go. Chat right there. Share that with everyone. There you go. I'm also going to share this presentation with you all on the trademark thing. Share that with you all too. Chat right there. There's a trademark. I'm also going to share this with the YouTube people. Share this with you all on YouTube, so you all can, if you all, and remember the trademark is not just for the people with within our platform. Tracy Mahan asks, is straight dispatch included in the trademark? No, because we don't actually have straight dispatch anymore. We don't subscribe to straight dispatch anymore, because the load boards finally caught up with the technology. When that first came out, we were the only ones having it. It was put there by Mr. What's the gentleman's name? Mr. Khalid Hodge is the developer of straight dispatch. But once the load boards caught up with that technology, because all the load boards now have rate per mile. Y'all do know that now. Load boards now have a rate per mile thing. When you click on it, shows you the rate per mile. Straight dispatch was the technology before they started doing that. That when you put in the amount of, you know, money that the carrier wanted, then you put that in and you click it, and then search load, it highlighted all the freight that was paying that amount or higher. Well, now you don't need that now. Why? Because if you go to a load board, like here, let me take you out to a load board. You go to one of our load boards like Direct Freight. You go to a load board now, you don't really need that. Why? Because it automatically shows that. Let's go here, load map. Ooh, they changed the load map. I like that. That's pretty good. They changed the look of the load map. It's gotten bigger. I like that. Okay, but anyway, now you go to a load map. Let's say you click on Florida, and you pull it up. This has changed. Let me make sure I'm in the right account. So this has a different look to it. So I'm only seeing Orlando loads, and some they got them broken down by what you call it now. I'm trying to make sure I'm in the right account. Yep, I'm in the right account. Okay. But anyway, they've changed the look of it. But now you go to the load map and you click on the loads. And see, they've incorporated a lot of changes. They've broken it down to different areas. You can look at total loads, or you can look at where the loads are. Like Orlando load 461. I like this. Well, that's why I like Direct Freight. They started doing stuff to just make themselves my favorite load board. And y'all like this? I kind of like this. They're showing you where most of the loads are concentrated at too. Like if not just clicking on the whole state of Florida, which you can still look at the whole state, but they're showing you where the loads are concentrated at. So if you got carriers in certain areas, like in deep Miami, you know there's 95 loads that are coming out of Miami. In Tallahassee, you got 119 loads. Jacksonville, 139 loads. Tampa, 191 loads. Orlando, where the biggest concentration is coming from, is 461 loads. I like that. All right. Or you can instead look at you can go and click on their total loads and look at them on the way you're used to. But now you see here, over here, we said estimated rate per mile. Before, they didn't have that. Now the load boards have this. You click on that, and it will pull up all the loads from the highest to the lowest rate per mile. Y'all see how that is now? So there's no need for what? Straight dispatch anymore. That technology has become kind of like what they call obsolete, because all the load boards have caught up with that technology. Does everybody understand that now?
Yes.
Okay. And yeah, that is a real load, $300. Why? Because it's going Jacksonville to Jacksonville, 1 mile trip miles, and it's paying $300. You can't get no better than that. you can run that, and then you come back and run a whole bunch of these other loads, like these dedicated down here, Jacksonville to St. Augustine, just 37-mile run, paying $300. That's $811. That's $8.11 a mile. That's what you call good freight, y'all. Here's another dedicated, Tampa to Pinellas Park, paying $11.25 a mile. Here's another one, Mo Jacksonville to St. Augustine. Well, then you got out here, you got Pensacola to Panama City, more dedicated freight. Jacksonville to Ocala, more dedicated freight. And people say you can't make no money in Florida. Y'all see why I love Florida? If you're willing to stay in Florida, you can make all the money you want to make, y'all. Cape Canaveral to Riviera Beach, another dedicated load, $6.11 a mile. Cape Canaveral, and there they are again, down here. All these are dedicated. Woo! Dedicated. Okay, that's enough of that. All right. Think y'all can make some money in Florida? Y'all think you make money in Florida?
Yes.
But they say you can't make no money in Florida, right? That's what they say, right? I don't know what they looking at. Look, because you can piece these loads together. You can run 3 of these loads a day, man. You come out making, somewhere close to $1,800, $2,400 a day, 5 days a week. Back in the same place every night, off every weekend. But you can't make no money in Florida. Okay. Yeah, to each their own. That ain't none of my business. All right. But that's what we're talking about. Look. All right. That's going to do it for today. I appreciate each and every last one of you all. But take a look at our trademark stuff. If you need to partner up with someone, come in at the entry level, do that. Whatever it may be. Darren Stevens, hey man, just popping in. We wrapping up. Now I'm getting ready to say my goodbyes. Darren.
What's going on, man?
Man, you came in late, man. We wrapping up. We get ready to close it out.
Okay, man. I was tired all week, man. I'm just getting up.
I know you've been busy, man, dealing with them brokers and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever get those loads rescheduled?
Yes, I did. He actually went straight in, and they was about to close actually, and they just let him out because they had to get the stuff off the truck.
Okay.
It really was a -10, so you know how that is.
Yeah. Look, y'all, if y'all don't know, Darren Stevens is one of my most successful students. He's done very well in this. I like to brag on him because he came in this not knowing a thing, zilch, zero, nada about the freight and trucking industry. Right there.
Right, that's true.
Didn't know nothing about it. All he knew is he had bills to pay and he wasn't making enough money to pay them. But that's all water underneath the bridge now. Because got a successful dispatch firm, successfully started his the car hauling dispatching. Man, he made a lot of money in that, doing that side of it too. And now he is set to become one of our first trademark owners and start his own training platform, his own RBBS Logistics Learning Center's training platform. He's going to have his own YouTube channel. He's going to be doing his own training. So when he launches his, I want y'all to tune into his training because he has a lot of knowledge to teach you all, especially in the area of auto hauling. Okay, so tune into his channel, tune into his training. You know, go to his website, go to his RBBS Logistics Learning Center, get signed up and enroll, and you'll have access to his training platform as well as I'll still be doing training, and whoever else decides to get their own RBBS Logistics Learning Center, start their training platform, you have access to all those too. So, hey, that's what it's all about, y'all. All right. Yes, ma'am. What's your question?
So does his the information for his car hauling, is he giving out his number or what?
Well, apparently, when he starts doing his training, yeah, you'll be able to go to and take.
Yeah, but that's when.
I mean, you got to talk to him about that. I'm not gonna rush the man.
Yeah, but how can I get? That's what I'm saying. How can I get in contact with him?
You can schedule a private consultation with him. He does the private consults right now. He's one of our consultants. Cause I'm pretty sure. Look, Darren is very busy, like I am. Okay, now let me explain something to y'all, and I've done this before. If someone calls me up and they've got a quick question that's going to take about 10 or 15 minutes, I'll be happy to stay on the phone with them. Like yesterday, I had a gentleman call me up. He said, hey, I got a quick couple of questions for you. That conversation started to go into a 35-minute long conversation. I politely told him, I said, look, I'm willing to answer questions with you, but my time is money, okay? My time is money. This conversation is going more than 30 minutes. Therefore, I'm going to ask you to go to mydispatcher.org, click on private consultations, and book a private consult. Okay, go over here and book a private consultation. Because now you're getting into taking up a lot of my time, which is allocated towards other students, making money, private consultations, because I get about 60 calls per day. Darren is on the phone just about 24/7 dealing with brokers and his dispatch firm. So for someone to call him up and to take up his time getting free stuff, answers, and this and that, that's not fair. Because this is a business. In any business, you got to make money. And your knowledge and your time is what makes you money. And for someone to come in and expect you to give that away freely each and every time and take up a good portion of the time that you could be making money, that is unfair. Don't ever. If you get into this business, even if you're doing dispatch or whatever you're doing, I don't care what you're doing, do not ever in your lifetime start giving away your time. Don't do it. It's worth more than that. If you have a skill set, if you have knowledge of a certain thing, don't give away your time. Don't do it. That's like offering dispatch services and only charging 2.25% or 3%. Don't do that. Not unless you're part of a larger group or something else that's making you money on top of that. But that's why I tell you all, I advise you all to charge 10% because you're worth that 10%. Don't ever, ever, ever start devaluing yourself or taking less than what you were worth. Now, I'm pretty sure Darren, he agrees with me. If you want to call him up and ask him a couple of questions, he'll be happy to take time to spend 10, 15 minutes with you. But when you start getting into a long, drawn out, well, what about this? Okay, well, let me ask you another question. No. Now you're taking advantage of my time.
Right. And I'm not trying to do that. I don't even know enough about it to take up a 10 or 15-minute session.
I understand that.
If can I call him or what?
Well, that's between you and Darren. You have to
I don't even know how to get in touch with him.
He's right there. Ask him.
Yeah, I'm about to answer you. Yeah, I sent you a message, my number in the group. Yeah, I don't mind, if you give a few minutes of my time. And
listen, I'm so new about it. I don't even know what I don't know.
Yeah, I know, but people who are new about it, who don't know what they don't know, they're the ones that need to do a private consultation.
No, I ain't gonna take up no long one because I just don't know enough.
Look, I don't doubt you, But you know how many times I've heard that?
Listen, I understand. Look, time is money.
No.
Knowledge is money.
Yeah, but listen what I'm saying though. You know how many times I've heard that exact same thing that you just said?
Well, probably a lot because you have a lot of people, but I'm telling you,
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Darren, you've heard that a lot too, haven't you?
Yeah,
That's not a lot. Oh, so how can I get your number?
I'm just saying. People will say stuff like, "Oh, I'm not gonna take much of your time," but next thing you know, they'll call you up and you've been on the phone with them for 40 minutes. I mean, seriously. I'm just being real.
No,
Yes.
now that
That's
might
very
be
true.
true on a second or third call, but not on this first.
But see, listen. Like I said, we've heard that before. Y'all know me. I don't pull punches now. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna pull punches. I'm gonna tell you like my grandfather used to say, TIS is. That's how I'm gonna tell it. Okay. I've had people call me up. Calvin, I just wanna I just got a couple questions. Okay. All right, shoot. Okay, I've been asking. Okay, great. Then I answer that question. All right, and my next question is okay. Well, all right. Well, since we got that, now what about? I said, hold on. Did you say you had a couple of questions? What's a couple? Okay, but I just got
two.
But I just got one more quick question. Okay, I'll give you that one more quick question. Give me the quick question. Then it leads to another one and another one. And finally, I said, look, don't mean to be rude, but you seem to have a lot of things that you need to learn. And because obviously you don't know enough about this business to get started. So I'm going to suggest to you, schedule a private consultation or catch me doing training. And then if you need to ask a question during training, you can ask a question. And I answer it during training because I have scheduled, because remember, here's what I mean by that. I have scheduled time with my students. I have every Thursday night, every Saturday, like we are now, for my truck driving students. I have every Sunday for my easy lease. We try to do every Tuesday night, and now I'm going to be setting up for the franchise, the trademark training. I'm going to try to do that. Excuse me. I'm going to try to do that either every Friday night or every Monday night, or one or the other. It might be on a Wednesday night. But I try to set times for that type of stuff. I also periodically do like 2 months of time for the load board report. That's 6 a.m. till about 7 a.m. where I go on and I show people how to book freight live on YouTube, and I give away freight. Now, with all that, including, I also have private consultations every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And I'm usually booked every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from 10 a.m. till about 4 p.m. So you all see how much time I am spending with students and people who are interested in this stuff. So when do I have time for my family? You see what I'm saying? If you value your time with your family, right? So learn to be considerate and value our time with our family too. We give a lot of our time to you all in these videos and this live training. People call up. I get 60 plus phone calls a day, and I guarantee you, out of the 60 that call, 50 of them are not calling to sign up for our platform. They're calling to ask questions. They're not even part of our platform, but they're asking questions. And I'll spend time about 10 to 15 minutes. That's all you're going to get as far as free time. After that, you need to schedule a private consultation because this is a business and our time is very valuable. And I want you all to learn that. Because if you get into this, you're going to realize real quickly that people will try to take advantage of your time. Not saying that they're doing it on purpose, because if you're good at what you're doing and if you have good knowledge to put out there, people are going to want to grasp that knowledge. They're going to know what you know. They're going to want to know what you know because it's valuable. And if it's valuable, why should you give it away in mass consumption? Don't do that. Yeah, you can spend time with someone 10, 15 minutes answering quick questions here and there. But when that time starts infringing upon your time to make money, then that time needs to be in the form of a private consultation at $100 per hour. I can't put it in more real than that, because business is business. Remember that. We joke, we have fun, I laugh, I tell jokes. Sometimes I sing, because I know y'all love to hear me sing. You know, I have a great singing voice, don't I? Don't answer that. Don't answer that. But look, we joke, you know, we have fun, this and that, but y'all got to remember, this is a business. This is a business. And if you get your own trademark, you'll quickly realize how big of a business it is. And then a lot of this will start ringing true with you. Okay. Once you have your own RBBS logistics learning centers and you're doing your own marketing and promoting it, especially if you start your own training platform, you will definitely, you'll understand what I'm saying 100%. Once you start doing your own training platform, I guarantee you that. You know, Darren has come from a place where he didn't know nothing about freight dispatching, freight brokering, you know, truck driving. He know none of that. But now people contact him to pick his brain because he is considered an expert in the industry. Okay. One of my other students, when I turned him on to this on the training side, a lot of y'all didn't realize that Charles Monday over at Exodus Logistics was trained by me. He's a product of the RBBS Logistics Learning Center. Why do you think the name of his company is closely related to our company name, Exodus Logistics Learning Centers? Because I helped him set up his training platform. I trained him, gave him his start in dispatching and in training. I used to let him host our training sessions to see how he liked it. And then I encouraged him and helped him to set up his own training platform. Okay. All right. Charles is doing very well. His platform is very popular. He's a very good trainer. I don't mind saying that about someone who is good. I'm in the industry. He is good. His training platform is a little bit different from mine, so it's a matter of taste. But he has a very good training platform. And I endorse him any chance I get because he's a product of myself. Okay? But he learned quickly that knowledge is valuable. And he learned how to profit from that knowledge. And I want each and every last one of you all to do the exact same thing. With that being said, that's about all I have for today. Look, Darren will get in touch with you. Darren, I don't know if you sent her a direct message or not. You know, you can send her a direct message right through here, of course, you know, through the chat. And then y'all can connect and work out how y'all want to do or whatever the case may be. But anybody else out there, if you're looking to get some one-on-one time where we can have your own one-on-one Zoom call, nobody else but, you know, either myself or Darren Stevens or whatever it could be, you can click right here on the private consultation page and you can book and schedule your own private consult. Okay, you can come on here and it'll take you to our private consultation. Now, when you get your own RBBS Logistics Learning Center, you have this ability to do this too. To come on, you know, because you have the same page. Because we'll show you how to set all this up. You can go ahead and you can choose from different staff members as far as who to book with. Myself, Kwame Smith, Darren Stevens. I don't think Ms. Pompey is doing private consultations anymore. She may still be doing it, but you can book. One of us. If you want to know stuff about driving a truck, he's pretty good at it. How to start your own trucking company. Ms. Kwame Smith is good at that. Darren Stevens he's pretty. Anything dealing with dispatching, freight brokering, auto hauling. Darren is as knowledgeable and even more so knowledgeable in certain areas about this industry than I am. I'm not ashamed to say that. He learned auto hauling from me, but he has taken it to a level that I didn't take it to. Okay, so that makes him the leading expert on auto hauling. All right. So if you want to know auto hauling, I have people that call me up and say, "Hey, teach me the auto hauling." I said, "No, you need to talk to Darren Stevens. That's what you need to book for auto hauling." Okay, or some of the other stuff that he does. All right. So, but this is where you go to book private consultations. If you want to, and like I say, and we do charge $100 per hour on private consults, and I am pretty much booked most of the time. So when you book me, try to fit in where you can get in, because I'm usually booked Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. I don't do private consultations on Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays. I only do them on Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Okay. Anything you want to add, Darren?
Nah, not really. Just just try to get your drivers and start working. I mean, it's money out there to be made.
Tell you, man, just do it.
Don't be afraid to call them.
Yeah. Somebody asked me the other day, well, where should I start? Where should I start? Where you at? When's the best time for me to start? I got this going on there. Look, the best time for you to start is right now. Start where you at. Because there's never going to be a perfect time.
Right. And question that I've been asked a lot, do I have to get on my website and get my LLC and stuff before I start? No. If you go out on the road today and you see a driver on the side of the road, go ahead and ask them if they need dispatch.
Go talk to them.
Yeah, don't wait.
Yeah, start where you at, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, start right where you at. I tell people all the time, start where you at. Because if you're planning for a perfect time, that ain't gonna never happen. You ain't gonna never start. You ain't gonna never start. I started from a homeless shelter. That wasn't the perfect time. Damn sure wasn't the perfect time. But I started from where I was. You see what I'm saying? You got to start where you're at, man.
Right.
Start where you're at. And you'll be surprised at where it takes you to.
Yep. Definitely true.
Was Darren financially able to start when he started? Nope. Darren called me, man. I had to borrow the money to do this. I don't know where I'm gonna get the money to pay the monthly subscription. Darren, am I lying?
Nah, you're not.
So start where you're at. Start where you're at. Because where you at, if you start, it's gonna lead to a place that's better than where you were. I promise you that. But you got to get started. And just actually do it. Don't say I'm gonna start and then don't do nothing with it. Do it. And you'll make money. You'll get good at it. You'll become more proficient. It don't matter if you make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Are you gonna screw up? Hell yeah. You're gonna screw up. But guess what? Screwing up is probably the best thing for you because you learn more from a screw up than you do from a success.
Well, you learn a whole lot.
Now, trust me on that. You do. You're gonna learn a lot from screwing up. You ain't gonna learn much from if you succeed at everything you do. What did you learn? Nothing. So screwing up is how you learn. Trust me on that. All right. Look, everybody. I appreciate it. I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta do some other stuff today. I gotta finish doing some stuff with the trademark stuff. I gotta do some stuff on that end, some stuff with the easy lease. And I'm trying to get done. So I gotta finish up my application for the accreditation for the vocational school. And that's another reason why I want to get more people involved, because I want more of you all to start submitting the application for the accreditation for our vocational school, because the more application we have in, the greater chance that we get our approval, and then we can start getting that government money to fund it. And once you get that, that's easy money. Ain't nothing like having the government paying to send people to your vocational school. Government don't mind. They don't mind giving away money. Why? Because it ain't theirs. It's taxpayer money. They don't mind it. They don't mind it. And it gets people off the government programs. So them paying that money saves them money. And we're in the perfect position, to get a lot of their people coming over and us funding them funding us to train their people to go back out. And we have guaranteed career placement, so we're guaranteeing them careers within the industry. Don't get no better than that. All right. That's going to do it. I thank you all. As always, thank you all for joining us for the RBBS Logistics Learning Center on Saturday, our Brokers Hour. This has been the Brokers Hour with Calvin Butler, Darren Stevens, and some of the other people that we have here, Michelle, Miss B, and everybody. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all. Look forward to seeing you all on Thursday nights for Thursday night training. Those of you who are owner operators who have signed up for our owner op training, look forward to seeing y'all on Sunday, tomorrow, 6:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you all. Hey, trademark. Get your trademark. Get your own RBBS Logistics Learning Center. If you want to make some good money and stop working for somebody, hey, get your trademark and let me work for you. Okay? Simple as that. Y'all have a good day. Bye, everybody.